Hey everybody, and welcome back to No Agenda TV, sponsored by Caesars Entertainment. This is our 10th episode, and I could not be more excited to be joined by my dear friend, Kevin Kirby, the Executive Director of the MPI Foundation. And we're here to talk all about the great work that the Foundation's doing, and also the creativity that the Foundation and the board members really have brought to the table to help the Foundation really elevate in its awareness and presence within the MPI community and beyond. So Kevin, thank you so much for being here.
Sarah, it's a pleasure. It's so nice to see you, even though we're actually in an amazing studio. This is a great place. And thanks for the tip of the hat to the Foundation, of which you've been a trustee in helping our efforts for several years. And thank you to Caesars, not only for your assistance with this programming, but their consistent support of the MPI Foundation. It's made a big impact. And I was thinking about what you just said, success and creativity. You know, that's kind of hard to define for us as I sit as a champion of a nonprofit, and what does success look like for us? And I think the shining moment for all of us as trustees were sitting around a room in April of 2020 in the thick of hopefully a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and deciding, you know, we have money in our piggy bank for a rainy day and it's a hurricane outside. So how can we make an impact? Who can we help? How quickly can we activate? From then until actually this past June, it's 3,800 individuals from across the globe, and in MPI speak, that's a third of the entire MPI membership. So it was big. It was very big. And when you're in a situation like that where money isn't coming in so readily, then you get creative. Then you have to really think about what's important and how you can do it. And you know, we've explored so many different aspects. We've put our promotional marketing mind caps on and say, what would we do if we want to do those type of programs? And yes, we've done the golf outings, and yes, we've done so many different things. We have our iconic events, our rendezvous that we host during WEC. We'll be at IMEX America in middle of October, our rendezvous at Dre's with Caesars. And by the way, it sold out last year, so when tickets go on sale, please go buy your tickets. I will not be at the door to help anybody get in. It's an amazing event, and you know, we do our silent auctions and our programs. We've tried to branch out into more individual efforts, because in any nonprofit organization that you have outside of our industry, any of those leaders will tell you, oh, individual giving is really what drives our association and our nonprofit. And the contrary is true for our association. We're event-driven. And we do have significant donations from our destination partners, our corporate partners, and some other organizations. And it's one of those for us, we need to grow individual giving. We need to make it something that people do as readily as buying a cup of coffee and offering us $5 a month. We have those type of platforms that allow people to do it. We've also tried to engage our chapters. And when I say try to engage, it's been really more of a, how can I educate you on the value of what we provide to you as a chapter, in your ability to use the Foundation as a resource to fund education, as well as providing ongoing scholarships for membership renewals, new members, additional programs that they can provide that add value to their community. And I think after a few years, after most of them have gotten through, you know, the financial stress of trying to run a chapter in the middle of a pandemic, gosh, we're seeing such positive signs right now, where it's really starting to increase in the notoriety of, hey, we should give back because we've been beneficiaries of what's happening. So,
yeah, and I think, you know, it's been really interesting for me to also watch, witness, and be a part of is, you know, we talk a lot in this industry about designing experiences and like really providing value to attendees during events. But it's really that same mentality that we bring into the MPI Foundation in particular to say, okay, what kind of experience can we design for our corporate partners to where it's a win-win for all parties, right? They're supporting a great cause through the MPI Foundation. They're getting the name recognition, and in turn, we're helping and aiding, you know, thousands, to your point, of meeting professionals in our community. So, you know, programs like, I know we've done things like College Connect, and just really these experiences that we're designing for partners and for our community. Can you elaborate a little bit about some of those programs and just maybe not the specifics of them, but just how those have really driven more contributions and, more importantly, awareness to the MPI Foundation in a different light?
Yeah. So one of the key efforts that we need to sustain ourselves with is our workforce development. So years ago, 3 years ago, we developed a program, I shouldn't say we, our Canadian Council, and at that time our current chair of the Board of Trustees, Jennifer Beattie, was the chair of our Canadian Council. And they collaborated with Algonquin College, which is a university focused more on the trades and specifically in the hospitality business. And we created a program called College Connect, whereby all the different communities suppliers would come in, and this was, our first event was complete home run, and then COVID hit, but it was amazing. The students planned the event. The students were the ones that prepped in the kitchen. The students did everything. And if you're a supplier and you're trying to find your bench, your talent that's going to be stepping up, this was amazing. It was just a wonderful experience. And we have the playbook, and we're looking for different university partners to help us right now. We've had several conversations, and we're looking to institute another College Connect program simply to take work fairs, job fairs, to a completely different level. Show us what you can do. Show us that hospitality. I think that's what really engages people, and it's more than a resume on a table and chatting. It's look at the way this person works the room, look at the way they treat their guests. It was really awesome, and kudos to the Canadian Council for pulling off an amazing event. More to come with that. So there's a lot to do. We also do, you know, that's one aspect of what we're doing. One of the things that we're doing, actually, it's coming up here in a few weeks, is our Thought Leaders Summit. And instead of doing big and grand, because God knows we do big and grand really, really well, our focus is, how about if we got a small group of executive planners together and sat around and talked about pressing issues of the day. And in the past couple of years, we've had some amazing partners. We'll be on our seventh or eighth this year. The past 2 years we were in Tampa, and then last year we were in lovely Mobile, Alabama. It was an amazing location, and we talked about workforce development and brought in some subject matter experts relative to that for 2 days of education. Happy to say we're going to the Queen City of Buffalo, New York, the end of August, and the topic is the hottest topic that there is right now is AI. What that means to our businesses, what that means to the way we do it, how we produce our programs, how we engage, what are the legal ramifications, who are the people that are, you know, how is that going to change their perception of what we're doing and how we're engaging. So looking forward to that, and that is a fabulous fundraiser for us. All the funds, net proceeds of that go to our endowment, but all the funds go to the foundation, and we're able to better go back to the community to provide grants and scholarships for memberships, for educational programming. We're working on some additional white papers right now for the industry. One of them will be an AI-focused white paper that's happening. So there's so much that we're doing. There's so much more we want to do. We can only move as fast as the partners that are willing to raise their hands and say, okay, you've got my interests, tell me what else we can do. And that's the beauty about working with us. We can work in a completely unrestricted manner where you can offer a donation and say, we trust what you're doing and we want you to make it happen, or with restricted funds. And restricted funds can be, we want to provide specific scholarships for Latin American planners, for European planners, for suppliers. It's as crazy as that sounds, that's actually a huge need, and it's a very welcome scholarship that's available. So it's important. And then introducing students into our industry. We're keen on that, making that happen sooner than later. So
yeah, absolutely. Applications for new board members are open. This show released on August 10th, 5 days to apply for the Global Board of Trustees. So if you're out there and you've had this kind of itch to get more involved with MPI on a board level, this is a great opportunity for you to apply. But then if you don't make it to the board, we have councils, and our councils are all over the world. So can you maybe elaborate on the councils? Because I don't think it's a well-known fact that what our councils do.
What we did, because we had so many people raising their hands, and it was a very strategic decision to say, I don't have enough, I can only put so many people in seats on our board of trustees. What we really need is geographical focus. So who can assist us in Mexico, in South America? Who are the team members that we can focus there? Who can assist us in all the provinces across Canada? And we have, 6 chapters up there. So the audience is there throughout Europe. We have a chapter in Japan. So we're reaching out to different folks to say, listen, we have a pertinent message, and we'd like you to be part of it. I'd love to have the table that everyone could sit at, but I'm limited in what my governance allows me to do. So we said we'd love to have you be a part of our team. Here's where you can help us. You have 5 days, at least for the trustees, and if you are not the persons that are selected to join us in the trustee positions, we're looking to fill some slots within our councils.
Kevin, I want to thank you so much for your time and joining us on the show, sharing more about the foundation. It's, you're doing great work as the executive director, and with your leadership, we're all able to be more creative, successful, and just do a lot of cool stuff that we don't necessarily get to explore and do in our regular lives, right? So the foundation has been a great avenue for creative people like myself to put together events and help in whatever way we can. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of our trustees, and we're part of putting the fun in foundation, so help us make next year a great party, and also give. If you get a chance, go to the mpifoundation.org website and donate any amount that you can. We appreciate it.
Yep, the link is on your screen, so please feel free to visit the link and learn more about our MPI Foundation.
I love my friends and family at Caesars, and I know there's always amazing stuff happening here in Vegas. What's going on these days? What are you most excited about? What can we share with our virtual audience?
It's funny, Caesars never rests on our laurels. We have lots of updates going on. Caesars Palace just opened Stanton Social, one of our new restaurant concepts. Ooh. We have a couple more coming as well, including Peter Luger's Steakhouse and Bobby Flay's Brasserie, which will take the place of Old Homestead. So lots of new dining concepts. We're also doing some updates to our Forum Tower, which will start this month and be done by the end of the year. And then we also have updates at Horseshoe, which will change the Jubilee Tower to the Versailles Tower and become part of Paris.
Oh my gosh, there's so much going on. And what about Harrah's? I hear there's some new exciting things happening there.
Lots of things going on at Harrah's as well. So we opened Gordon Ramsay Kitchen earlier this year. We have new rooms and suites, which are perfect for our group customers utilizing Caesars Forum. And we're really excited, which this has not yet been announced yet, but we're going to do a full renovation of our porte-cochere, updating the arrival experience for our group customers.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm super excited to check everything out. This sounds great. Well, I absolutely love Caesars Forum, and audience, I am here multiple times a year for different conferences happening. For our virtual audience, if they haven't been here before, what do you love most about this property, and why should they consider taking their conferences to Caesars Forum?
I love that question. I think this is one of the things I'm most passionate about. If you've never been to Caesars Forum, this facility was designed by a meeting professional for meetings. A lot of times you go into a hotel or to a convention center and it just kind of threw it together. We purposely designed this with our meeting customers in mind to make sure that we are utilizing its square footage to the best of our ability, and that's most conducive to our meetings and customers.
Well, thank you so much, Abby. I'm loving the excitement and the energy here. I love this space that Caesars has created, and We will catch you later, audience. See you later.
Welcome back to another edition of Events Express. The summer season may be winding down, but summer flight prices just seem to keep climbing up. With this trend looking to continue into the fall, we wanted to share with you a few practical tips to make big savings on your flight tickets. The first tip is to use incognito or private browsing mode when buying a ticket. If you repeatedly search for the same flight on regular browser, they might think you're more likely to make a purchase soon and could increase the price. Next up, book one-way flights if you can, as they are often cheaper than round-trip airline tickets. You can also try creating your own round-trip flight by mixing and matching tickets from different carriers. Another tip is to book an itinerary with a connection. Non-stop flights are generally more convenient and preferred by travelers, which leads to higher demand and higher prices. Now, I know we love doing everything online, but our next tip is to buy tickets at the airport. Some budget carriers charge an interface fee every time a ticket is bought online, but if you buy the ticket at the airport, this fee is voided. Lastly, when shopping online, shop around. The same airline ticket might be priced differently across various websites. That's it for this edition of Events Express. Until next time, I'm Raisa Pascal with Soliman Productions, wishing you safe travels to all of your upcoming events. Back to you, Sarah.
Research shows that U.S. businesses spend $22.5 billion annually on incentive travel. Properly designed incentive travel programs increase sales productivity by 18%. So, are you planning incentive trips with purpose and intention? Joining us to discuss is world traveler Ashley Lawson with Achieve Incentives. Ashley, tell us about your world travels and ultimately what you do when you're in these beautiful destinations.
So I'm Ashley Lawson. I am Vice President and co-owner of Achieve Incentives. We are a third-party planning firm out of Ohio, and I'm a full-time traveler. So for the past 3 years, I've been living out of a backpack and working full-time and exploring new destinations that are exciting and could potentially be really great spots for incentives, since my world is all around incentives.
Now, from your experience, what makes for a successful incentive trip?
I think for so long, we've just put this cookie cutter architecture around incentive trips. You know, you take award winners to a beautiful place. They're going to have 5-star service, good food, give them time to relax. But a lot of times it's just putting people in a big white box, and they're not getting a lot of time to actually interact with the local culture. And I think that's a huge myth for our industry, and I'm really glad it's changing. Another trend that we're seeing is that groups and people want to go off the beaten path. They don't want to go to the same places that they've already been a million times. So let's give them new destinations to consider. And as I'm living in these communities and have neighbors of locals, I get to learn about what that's like. How does it feel in terms of safety? Wherever I am, I spend a lot of time running or walking by myself just to get an idea of how I feel. Because then I can convey that to clients and other people about, here was my experience. And it gives more confidence in travel. You know, with COVID, there was a lot of fear around travel, but there's also a lot of fear around safety and wanting to protect yourself. And I think me just being out and about, learning from the community about what it's like, gives a better perspective than, you know, just going on a 2-day site visit. And, you know, and when I'm able to fall in love with a destination, I can really become a destination ambassador and talk to clients in the industry about, here's what's really special about this place. Here's how we can weave in the unique culture into events and incentives here and really make them stand apart. Because I think oftentimes we forget that we're not just making sure our incentive programs are standing apart from year to year, but we also have to make sure they're standing apart from our competitors. Because whether it's a sales-related incentive or customer incentive, there's competition all around for incentives, and people may be selecting the job that they're saying yes to or the product that they're saying yes to buying based on the travel incentives that they're receiving. So we really need to make sure that they're standing apart and getting that really unique experience year to year.
What advice would you give incentive planners to ensure they're being purposeful when hosting these experiences?
The numbers have to make sense, or why else would a company be investing hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars into these programs? So we, as a team at Achieve, we talk about, treat it like it's our money. And in doing that, we're trying to save money, but we're also trying to counsel our clients to think about how can you make sure your program is making more money. Some of the big ways to do that is to not just have one contest throughout the promotion period. Give more tiers to your potential winners to keep reaching for more goals. And as planners, your attendees more than anybody, what excites them, what really motivates them to do more. Because say your contest period is January to December and your top salesperson met their goals in June, you don't want them to just quit. So how do you keep them going? And that's where our strategic plans can come in as event leaders and creatively think, okay, can we add an extra tier if you surpass your goals by 10, 20, 30%? Maybe it's a first class flight. Maybe it's an extra day at the destination. Maybe it's a higher room category. So just thinking through how you can tier your incentive contest to make sure that when someone's reached their goals, there's another goalpost to keep them more excited. I'd also say a big thing is the trip hype up. If you're just thinking about when your attendees are landing and that's the focus of your planning, you're missing so much ROI, because the more you are keeping the program and the excitement around it top of mind to your attendees and to their partners or potential guests, the more they are thinking about it, the more they're driving to their goals. So I love coming up with a really robust communication strategy right when you announce the destination. And, this could be postcards sent home. This could be destination themed gifts. Every destination, whether you are Louisville or Liechtenstein in Europe, has so many cool and interesting facts. So think about how we can immerse attendees and award winners into the destination before they even get there, so they feel more excited, more interested, and maybe a little bit more comfortable. So equip them with some language or sign them up for Duolingo in advance. There's just so many ways to immerse people beforehand, and every single one of those touch points keeps that program top of mind, which means their goals are top of mind.
Ashley, thank you so much for your input. It's always so fun to live vicariously through your world travels on social media. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode sponsored by Caesars Entertainment. We'll see you right back here on August 24th.